We are in live in YouTube and Instagram app. Let's wait some minutes, 1 or 2 minutes to the people enter.
Sure.
Let me share the link with the people in Instagram. They enter too.
And I would be also able to see the question if it comes from YouTube, right?
Yes, I have some questions that I appointed here in my schedule. In the end of the live, we can try it.
Good.
Can we wait at least 8:35? Is it possible?
You are the boss.
No, I'm not the boss. Livia is in the live in Instagram. She's saying hello to you, Arian.
Hi, Livia. Good to see you after a long time.
Laura is also in the live too. Laura from Mining Lab. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do remember. Good time from Sao Paulo, Brazil, 2 years ago.
Yes. In June to 2018, right?
2018, yes. July or June, somewhere around there.
Like I told you, my sister is in the live too. Her name is Anna.
Anna.
Yes. Hello, Anna.
Nice to meet you, Anna. Like, yeah, I totally forgot how to say nice to meet you in Portuguese.
It's prazer em conhecer você.
Prazer.
Yes. She's answered, yes, I am. That she. Now she felt nice to meet you. Let's wait more 2 minutes. The people are entering in YouTube, and then we can start, right?
Yes.
My mother-in-law is in the live too. Hi, Sandra. We have 11 people here in Instagram, and then I think we can start. Hello, Carol. How are you? Missing you. Carol studied with me in the graduated. Yes. Can we start? Sure. Right. For who doesn't know me, my name is Maria Fernanda. I'm a chemical engineer. My purpose of doing this live is to show to everybody more about chemical engineer. I invited Arian this night to tell you about his career and how he chose chemical engineer to his life. And Arian is a chemical engineer. He graduated in Iran, and I'll let him show more about and tell you more about him. Let's start, Arian. Are you ready?
So, hi everyone, my name is Arian. Probably first name is easier than last name, Shahnazari. And I will definitely today try to keep it very simple and light because I remember the last live here was with Adolson. Definitely so many people from Brazil know him, like such a professional like in chemical engineering industry. So probably it's very hard to compete. So I should definitely take another approach here. So I'll try to go from there. And well, first of all, like thanks everyone who has joined tonight. Right now I am in Toronto, Canada, and it's already 7:30. And in Brazil, I guess it's 8:30, so it's pretty late in the evening. And I wish everyone like safe and like being healthy during these very strange times. That it has been very difficult for many families and for many people that I know, of course in Brazil. So I hope everyone stays healthy and responsible for their loved ones. And just for the start, like I guess like I better explain a little bit that how I know Maria and like how we got here, like from Canada to like Brazil and like how it works. And I know Maria since around more than 2 years ago now, like our collaborative project through Mining Lab and from Nexa Resources that started in Sao Paulo, and then it went to Vicente, and then Tres Marias and different cities, and also Maria came to Toronto to visit us. So throughout these projects, like we had so many like shared activities together. As always, I tell her she was like my boss, and all the time like I explain to her and discuss things that why we are doing things this way in our venture. So that's pretty much like the introduction of how I know Maria. But I guess like right now, like I really like to have very interactive sessions. That's how I prefer it. So if you have any questions, like feel free to ask, even if it's for that I worked with,
Arian,
it
Arian,
known to be
uh,
as
Arian, wait a minute. Your microphone is closed in YouTube. Are you close the mine and you open yours,
Do you
right?
hear me now?
do you hear me now?
Yes, yes, perfectly.
Yeah, and as I was saying that everyone knows Canada as one of the coldest countries in the world that people are living. So this
I
is,
would
I
like
know it a lot.
I would like
I
to
I hate
show,
the cold of
at least on
Canada.
YouTube, that if you can see, like, this is one of my first experiences, like when I was working in that petrochemical company, and it was the first winter, and it's known to have lots of snowfall, and the weather goes down to minus 40, minus 45 degrees. So I would say that was a very, very tough challenge for me because I had to do lots of field visits and trials, but it was fun because you also learn a lot. But honestly, like the cold also made me think that probably I wouldn't want to be like an operational engineer. And based on the master's degree and research based master's degree that I had in chemical engineering, but I had this deep passion toward industrial innovation as well. So I started growing passion toward roles that is multidisciplinarily, or is a bridge between research and industry. Like that way, you can always be interactive with the industry to solve their challenges, but you can also apply what you learned at school. So that made me go back to New Brunswick and join a small startup at the very early stages. Probably Maria knows Mustafa and BioPolynet, and started working that one like more than 4 years ago. And today, actually, for whoever has interest in chemical engineering and Chemical Engineering Canada, that I would like to talk a little bit about that, like in more details. That when you do chemical engineering, you can still work as an entrepreneur who has background in engineering and first principles, but also you can start learning about soft skills and apply it so you can help the industry. Skills like many courses that probably we don't take at school, like negotiation skills, presentation, writing technical proposals, what the decision making process is, or like intellectual property, things like this, that if you can learn and if you can combine it with your technical background, it would be a huge step toward your professional career path. It would be a huge step to expand your network and to get to know different people and to acquire different projects and acquire to different opportunities for you. That's probably one of the main reasons why I ended up in Tres Marias and Besanche and going to Brazil to do the project. Perhaps as an engineer who was fresh and who newly graduated from school, if I was working in a multi-billion-dollar corporate, maybe that opportunity was not open for me compared to the cases that I work in a small SME, in a startup, but it's very transparent and reflective that you can see the work that you are doing, what the results would be. And also you can interact with people from different mindsets and different perspectives. So that's pretty much around like my chemical engineering basics. That's what I have taken, what I have taken at school, and then what type of work I have done. And if you can see, I'm not sure on Instagram, probably people can't see, but on YouTube, I guess they can see the photos that I am sharing, correct?
Arian, first let's get the question from
Sure, yes, yes.
I, my
my
open my
microphone.
microphone. Anna is asking us, you, in case, what was your greatest difficult for someone who start career in chemical engineer?
The greatest difficulty as a chemical engineer, well, it was for me, I would say that right after graduation, I had some tough times to find the job in my like professional path that I was looking for because I wanted to enter the entrepreneurial roles, SMEs and startup, but I couldn't find any jobs that just through conventional methods that I would just apply for jobs and land one. That's fortunately, I would say, not unfortunately, it didn't happen. It took a few months. So because of that, actually, like that helped me to work on my networking skills. So I ended up creating my own role in the startup that I wanted to work with instead of waiting for other employers to hire me. So like I just started everything through networking, through getting to know people. And then after that, I had the opportunity to create my own role in the startup that I would like to work with. I would say that was one of the main difficulties in my professional career path I had to overcome.
Another question. What were the main challenges you have faced? I think when you got in the Canada master, can you tell us more about your faith and how did you get the master in Canada? Important for
Yes.
the people that are studying the career right now.
When we talk, well, for my case at least, like speaking of like doing masters, I did my masters in another country that was pretty new to me. It was not my home country. So of course there was cultural barrier, there was like language barrier that I had to overcome. And especially in a country like Canada, that it's very, very cold compared to the country that I am coming from. So all of these like during my master's, especially in the first few months, like I could see them as like challenges that I had to overcome in my personal life next to doing my master's. Because if I couldn't, for example, face those challenges properly, probably my master's studies would be under jeopardy as well. So because of that, I would say like this is how I overcame because like the association that I joined during my master's studies, like the cultural association, like and groups, that helped me a lot to be able to start socializing, getting to know people, and that helped me to also know about the culture of the university and culture of the academic rules that was pretty new to me in another country like Canada.
Yeah, sure. Aria,
The
another
question
question.
is, how
How
do
do
you
you
compare
compare
the chemical engineer business in
Brazil,
Brazil,
Canada,
Canada, and
and
Ireland?
Good question. Like I would say the main differences, first of all, like the industries that I have worked with and also I have seen are very different. For example, at least based on my overview and based on my perspective, Brazil is heavily focused on mining, and Canada is heavily focused in oil and gas industry, and Iran is heavily focused in petrochemistry and petrochemical plants. And for all of these, there are some similarities. That is the first principles of chemical engineering, and it's the worldwide standards that needs to be applied everywhere. But in Canada, like to be honest, I have seen a lot of support and a lot of resources from the government that is more transparent, and people who have interest in working in such industries can have access to. And the second one is, of course, also in Brazil, at least from our perspective, that we came as a SME in Canada, we had lots of support and resource available for us. But unfortunately, in my home country, the limitations are above the expectations, above what you expect. That's one of the reasons, like when many young professionals, including me, start leaving the country and start going to other countries like Canada that has more help and more support for such professionals.
Yes. Another question that I received in Instagram.
Sure.
What the main characteristics do you think that someone that is entering in the market
Right now have
right
to
now
to be accepted
be
in the market,
in the market?
in chemical
Chemical
engineer,
engineer,
in
in
all over
over
our what I say that
what I say
chemical
that
engineer
chemical
is a process engineer, and then we
and then we
can work
can working
in a lot of
a lot
markets.
of
And
markets. And
what we think
what
that have
that have
to have the skills to working
working
in the special
special
markets.
Yes, and that's very good question, because actually that was my next topic that I wanted to talk about for a little bit. Chemical engineering field, let's say, is a natural and mother field that could be applied in different industries. But on the other hand, also that chemical engineering courses or principles and concepts, let's say, the majority of it could be very conventional and traditional. Like some of these principles are, let's say, for example, in the oil and gas industry or mining industry, go back to maybe 100 years ago, 60 years ago, 70 years ago, and innovation is going down in such industries. So I would say, like, to be able to enter the market as a chemical engineer, I highly recommend to adapt yourself to the market that is happening right now, to learn the skills, to make yourself compatible with the market challenges right now, next to the principles that you already learned in the courses. As I said, for example, like there are some courses in chemical engineering like project design or statistics or like mass balance, things like this, that are very helpful. But next to that, I would say to learn more about the economics, learn more about the financial aspects of the project, about the project development. Because let's say, for example, at least in my case, there weren't many focuses on return on investment, like about ROIs, about the capital expenses, or like financials in general of the project. And we had lots of assumptions that we had to just assume like this is ideal or everything is perfect. I would say, like, to make this very like useful and practical for the current industry, it's highly recommended to be able to grow some skills that are soft. You cannot find it in the courses. You can find it through doing projects. You can find it through acquiring projects and doing those projects with the industry. That would help you to be able to adapt yourself and catch up with the market. And next to that, everything, like, we are entering the digitalization world. So if there is no focus in the chemical field about, let's say, the data science, algorithms, statistics, it's very useful to take those courses on ourselves, to be able to at least have that on our side as tool, to be able to reflect that to any potential employer or any potential, let's say, company that likes to work with us. And the last one is try to at least experience once how to become an entrepreneur and how to work with startups, because that helps you a lot to learn more about the real life challenges, operational challenges that you may not get if you work in big corporates.
Yeah, sure.
That's my tip.
Start.
And
Yes, I
I have
know
to
that
mention
the
this, like
startups
this
help
is
us
this
a
is my
lot.
very like my opinion, and it might not be true, or people may have like different opinions, but that is what I truly believe that would help young professionals, including me.
Another question from Anna, my sister. Which other country is chemical engineer most evaluated?
Sorry, I couldn't hear well. You said which are they?
What? I didn't hear you.
I couldn't hear the question.
Which other
Which other
country
country
is
is
chemical
chemical
engineer most
engineer most
evaluated?
evaluated?
Every country in the world. That's like I don't think like because I said like chemical engineering is a multidisciplinary like field that it could be working. You could be working and focusing on biotechnology. That I am sure and I've heard of, like Brazil is pioneer in such industry, or mining or oil and gas that we have in the United States or Canada, or like these like modern, let's say, fields like clean technology or automated industry. All these areas are applicable when you, for example, focus on chemical engineering. It just depends on what area that we are talking about. And that's what I would say great about chemical engineering, because it gives you perfect opinion about the first principles of every industry pain.
And
Your friend is
is
asking.
asking
So which one has the best food? I think it's Brazil.
Definitely, definitely, you can answer to that too, because you have seen the food that I have had in Brazil. So, like
Yes,
for
I
sure, like
love
the best food
Brazilian
is
food. I love coxinha. I love feijoada. But I also try the Irish food, like you took me in Canada in that restaurant.
restaurant.
yeah, yeah. Although
Arian,
you didn't like it that much.
what?
Although you didn't like it much.
Arian, is it possible for you to tell us more about technology, the technology of biopollinate, what you work, how it can help the companies to treat the water in different ways?
Sure, yes. So again, like will it promote biopollinate?
Bioluminescence technology. Well,
Biopollinate
bioluminescence
technology is
technology is
essentially
essentially
a
a
natural
natural
polymer,
polymer.
let's say
Let's say
like from cellulose, from tree or wood or like algae or
or
starch.
starch or
All
all
these
these
like
like
family of
family of
natural
natural
polymers
polymers
that
that
we have created, and it's a unique methodology, I would say, using 5 to 10 different ingredients that all come as one type of product, either in liquid or solid format. So then that one is simply applied to the processed water and then customize it based on the need of the customer. Let's say either in mining or oil and gas, to either recover the precious metals from the process or to dewater, increase the efficiency of dewatering and get the clear water with low turbidity. So that's pretty much like how biopollinate has like presented its technology to some main industries from Canada, United States, right now Germany, South Africa, and around a year ago in Brazil too, in mining, oil and gas, agriculture, aquaculture, and in the industrial dust suppression. So that's around like what we do with the technology. So we usually have a wet lab or a lab space that we work on a small scale, and then we also have a space to be able to supply the product in larger quantities to our potential clients and customers and work on their sites and with their operators. And if you can
If you
see
can see,
again, like I don't know if my presentation is on or not.
Do
Oh, do you want to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay. Uh,
Can you hear?
I
Can you
think
hear me now?
it's appearing right now. In only in YouTube, in Instagram, no.
Why is that?
Yeah, the people are can see your presentation in YouTube. You can talk about it.
Yes, yes. No, I just asked if you can hear me.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Mhm. So this is a little bit of sketch of a startup strategy that at first we think that we are doing very complicated and sophisticated like strategy, technology, and like writing it down. But I
But
just
I
took a
just took a
picture
picture I wanted to show it to you because
and
then
when you
when
look
you
at
look
it
at it
from
from
outside,
outside,
it
it
looks
looks
probably very
very
confusing
confusing
and
and
very
very
dumb,
dumb.
but
But
that
that
is
is
how
how
it
it
works
works
in
in
when you
when
are
you are
working in a
working in a
small
small
startup
startup
and when
and
you are
when you are
working with
working with
SMEs.
SMEs.
Because
Because
you
you
have to
have to
think of
think of
many
many
things,
things,
but
but
at
at
the
the
end,
end,
sometimes the
sometimes the
results
results
ends
ends
with
with
some
some
success like
success
this
like this
photo.
photo.
And if
And if
Livia is
Olivia
on
is
the
on the
live,
live,
probably
probably
Livia could
Olivia
see
could see
herself
herself
next
too
to
in the picture
next to
next
me.
to me.
Very good picture. Arian,
But sometimes
Anna
you
is
also have this phase too that you have
You
no
have no
idea what
idea
you
what
are
you are
doing.
doing.
You are in
You
the
are in the
lab
lab
and
and
you look
you look
super
super
dirty and angry
angry
at
at
yourself
yourself
at why
at
you are
why you
doing
are
this.
doing this.
But
But
overall, the
overall, the
journey I
journey
would
I
say
would say
is
is
pretty
pretty
exciting and
exciting
fun.
and fun.
oh good, so good. Arya, Anna is asking us another question. Would you move to Brazil to work? Why not?
Yes, I would definitely move during the
During the
Canadian winter
Canadian
time.
winter time.
Like
Like
I'm
I'm
definitely
definitely
open to
open
this
to this
idea.
idea.
So
So
if
if
anyone has,
anyone is,
I have
I
shared
have
this
shared
with
this with
Maria
Marita
before,
before,
but
but
anyone else
anyone
who has
who has
some
some
sort of
sort of
interest
interest
idea
idea
to
to
collaborate on
collaborate
this,
on
I'm
this, I'm
definitely
definitely
open to
open
work
to
at
work
least
at
six
least six
months a
months
year
a
in
year in
Brazil.
Brazil.
No, it will be so good.
Yeah,
I can
and
help you if I
and
can.
one thing that I'd like to also mention that I have opened my Instagram account only temporarily
Temporarily
for
for
this
this
live.
live,
But
but
anyone who
anyone
would
who
like
would
to
like to
connect with
connect
me
with
or
me
to
or to
ask
ask
any
any
question,
question
or
or
even
even
studying
studying
in
in
Canada
Canada
or
or
doing
doing
collaboration
collaboration
projects or
projects or
you
you
name it,
name it,
any
any
type of
type of
like
like
collaboration
collaboration
or
or even
becoming
becoming
friends,
friends.
feel free
Feel free
to
to
add me on
be on
LinkedIn
LinkedIn
because
because
probably I
probably I
won't be
won't be available anymore
from
from
tomorrow
tomorrow
on.
on Instagram.
But my
But
LinkedIn is
it's
always
always
active
active
and
and
active there,
active there.
so
So
probably
probably
Maria
Maria
can
can
also
also
share with
share
you
with
if
you if
you don't
you
have
don't
my
have my
contact
contact
information.
information.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for the time. Arian, thank you very much for the experience that you shared with us. Thank you guys to heard us at least now. Uh, Arian, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Your
thanks
history.
Maria.
What?
Thanks Maria. Thanks you too.
Guys, see you soon. I will do another live. Thank you very much for everything. Anna is saying thank you to us here. uh,
Great. And thanks everyone who has joined.
thank you, everyone. Bye bye. See you soon, guys.